Hey, what's up, guys?
Hello.
Hey,
Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing?
Doing good. How are you guys?
Anyone watch the UFC this weekend? Any fighting fans?
Hey Adam, hey, welcome. Yeah, good to see you all, guys. All in one place. But you know what? I think that's all. Well, I know Denny's not here. Maybe a few more people, but yeah, the class is so so low in numbers. 2B is even worse. I'm seriously thinking if I should just even continue offering these classes. And Well, we'll see. But hopefully we'll you know we'll have exciting stuff to look forward to. I don't know. We'll see. All right. So anyway, I'm looking at, most of you are making good progress. Even Adam, even though you're stuck in Cormorant, yeah, well, it's okay. So I think what's going on really is that you have to be absolutely sure that you're implementing it per spec. If your sparse matrix is not per spec, then if I construct a sparse matrix according to spec and I give it to you and say make an operation on the sparse matrix that I made according to spec, and your sparse matrix, so that is one reason I can think of why all your tests are passing, because your tests are consistent with the way that you implemented your sparse matrix. But I might give you a sparse matrix that I constructed in a completely different way. So that's the only thing that I can think of. And that's the reason I suggested that this actually has worked for a lot of people. Even Aileen said it worked for her in 2B, right? When you're actually stuck and banging your head on a wall, it actually helps to just toss your entire code, because you may think that, well, I've been working for 18 or 20 hours on this code. I don't want to chuck it and start all over again. But the fact of the matter is that if you chuck it and start all over again, you'll be right back there in 20 to 30 minutes. Well, except that you may actually be better off, because you're doing it by spec. You may actually have missed out one error that you actually inadvertently introduced the previous time. So it may actually be better off, especially since you're going to be coding the early stages with a bit more experience from later. So it's kind of polishing off the whole thing. So that is my strongest recommendation. Two things that can help people get unblocked is essentially toss everything and recode everything from scratch. It's not going to take a huge deal of effort. People always, think badly about, I'm not going to toss everything, good money after bad. But no, it actually works wonders, because when you toss everything and don't even look at it, you should think that it's total garbage and implement from scratch from the spec. You'll find that you can actually, it all just falls out naturally. And in fact, it's better practice anyway, right? It's better practice to do things more than once, so that if you start again, you can just do it, right? So you can't say, I played this piece in front of my violin teacher perfectly. Now I can't play it in a concert. No, right? So before you play it in a concert, you got to play it like 5 or 6 times, for 500 or 600 times, so that, you can just go and play with your eyes closed. And one time is not enough. So I think it actually helps to toss your code and recode everything from scratch. It might actually be a whole lot better. So I think that's the only thing. Ethan, you're actually unblocked, right? You're past quest. You've got the password. You're actually on quest number 4 now, right? Yeah, Adam is not far behind, I think. It's just that one thing that's blocking you. And then don't get stuck on the multiplication, right? Just don't. Once you get the password, move on to Q4, and you can come back and do these later. Q6 is a pass, guaranteed pass, okay, in CS2C. So you don't have to worry or be stressed out and all. But I do want none of you to stop. I don't want any of you to stop at just passing, right? All of you should just go on and complete all the way through to CS, red 9. Even if it takes you past, even if you don't manage to finish it before the end of class, you should just keep going on, over the Christmas break or something like that, before New Year. You have to make it a point to finish the whole thing off. And the Reddit, the forums are always open, right? The forums don't close just because it's at end of term. And there's, people are going to be there. People, Justin and so many people who've already, done these quests. They're still going to be there. They're your classmates and your friends. And they say, hey, I'm still doing this, and I'm sure people will help, right? I'll help, and pretty sure other, past students are there too. They'll all help. It's not just the end of the full quarter that matters. But certainly you'll pass, as long as you get to plus 6. And when you write tip sheets, just want to, it is very tempting, right? It's very tempting, I know, because, you say, I got to write a tip sheet, but you look at all the past tip sheets, and a lot of people have written really good tip sheets. Say, I got to get, and it's very tempting to put everything in there. So you say, well, I've down to the last detail, everything you did. But I think that takes away the lunch from other people. So just try and be as cryptic as possible in your own tip sheets. You just gloss over the things and say, hey, this is where you need to do, and not even lead them in the right sequence. And so that, people will have to figure out the sequence. After, quest 6 and all, up to quest 6 in red, it's, I think even the specs kind of nudge you along a path. This is the order in which you got to do these things. But after quest 6, there's no order, right? You just let loose. I say, you got to figure out where to go next. And you're out there. And you got to figure out, I got to do this first, that next, and so on. But it's actually easy, and it's actually fun. And so don't try and not give out the order as much as possible, because it's fun for people to find the way around the maze, rather than get to each point and say, I got to solve this. That's like, a walkthrough in a game, right? So you say, well, first you got to go into this world and solve that, and then that will lead you into the purple door, and go to the purple door. There you'll find another puzzle, you got to solve that. Yeah, okay, you got to solve all the puzzles, but then a bunch of fun in the adventure games. If you remember, I don't know if you guys play adventure games, right? But in the adventure games, a whole lot of fun is not just in solving the individual puzzles and in the waypoints, but actually navigating from one waypoint to another, and which one you encounter in which sequence. So all of that is great fun. So that's all part of the. Obviously, I'm not going to be around, policing this forever and ever on Reddit. So right now, when I see tip sheets like that, I'll send pointers, posts around saying, hey, see if you can modify that. But it's up to you guys, because you guys are the early questers in a sense, right? Because lots of people are going to be questing. It's going to be out there free, even after I retire. And so it's up to you to kind of curate it and keep it nice and welcoming for new people who come and quest, because you go back in the forums and you can see people that have quested 2 or 3 years ago and all, and some of them are still around. Some of them are working at Apple, and they come back and make a post from time to time and all. So many companies, not just Apple, right? So but it's actually fun, and so you can actually together maintain a nice curated forum, also a place where you all are community, and you all know that you've been through this experience together, right? And you can talk about these things, and you know how to evaluate people that you're potentially hiring who have done these quests. I say, hey, did you do these quests? To give me your Reddit handle, let me check you out, right? Come over and have lunch with us, and that's your interview, right? So you can do these things, really fun things with once you know these things, right? So it's up to you guys. I'm not going to be taking moderating. Hopefully one of you can moderate, start co-moderating, and then moderate the forums in a while. And by the way, 2C, I don't know if you guys are, because I don't know if I'm going to be, I did attend this meeting, but I don't know if you guys are going to invite me to subsequent meetings. But so I wanted to mention, if any of you are planning to do more than 11 credits or something like that, 11 or 12 at Foothill next quarter. Yeah, well, assuming I offer 2C, right? Assuming if I offer 2C, you can be what is called an embedded tutor. Foothill will pay you, and then there's about 8 hours a week you got to do in terms of tutoring students or things like that. Colin is actually tutoring 2B this quarter, like that. You can check with him, and it actually fits in with his internship and all, right? So I think you'll have time. So if you're interested, and if you're doing sufficient units at Foothill, you can ask, and if there's enough interest, I'll ask for one more embedded tutor in CS2C next quarter. I'm not having this time, because in order to be an embedded tutor in a class, you need to have done that class previously. So I don't have anyone who did 2C and has come back to be an embedded tutor in 2C, because after 2C they all go back to work or university and things like that. But if you guys are still enrolled at, at Foothill, doing some other language maybe, right? So you finish the C++, now you want to do Python or something like that, then it's still going to be at Foothill. Then you can be an embedded tutor in CS2C, right? You get paid. I think it's fun. I don't know how much you get paid. You can check with Colin. And that would be fun. And you guys can come back and help out the other people who are struggling and say, I'm pulling out my hair. I don't know what the hell to do now. Everybody's on quest 4 and I'm quest 6 and I'm on quest 3, right? Yeah, it's a familiar feeling. And but once you get past, you'll find that most of the time, I think I check with Shreyas and all these other people too. What happens, I think, is that there are not all of these quests are challenging, right? So you get to a challenging one. So I didn't set it up like that. That's what I find from all the feedback and people doing these things. People get stuck, not all the same, right? Some for people, different people is different, right? Some people get stuck in Hanoi and so on. So you get stuck in one, right? And then you spend a long time saying, "Oh, right, I'm never ever going to get past this, or there's no hope for me." But then when you get past that, the rest of it, just kind of flows. And then you get stuck in a different one at a completely different point. But you've, made super duper fast progress on a number of other things later on. So it's not like every quest is equally challenging. Sometimes the easy quest is challenging for someone, some of the hard quest is challenging for someone, and vice versa, and so on. So that's, I think, what you'll find. But commonly, I think many people have gotten stuck so far in the past on quest 7 in red. Yeah, quest 7. And quest 3, other than that, Adam, I don't think it's a big deal. And the multiplication of the sparse matrices, as long as people don't just keep banging the head on it, they can move on, right? It's not going to hold you down from progression. So, and I don't want to say anything else, but I just wanted to see all of you again, because it's a long time since I've seen all of you, and you guys are just getting together without me. So I did see Denny. What, Denny? Yeah, I saw him in the video from last quarter, right? Last class. So yeah. So, but he said he won't be able to make the before 8:30 today. So you guys can pass the message on to him. If you have any questions for me, I'm happy to answer them. Otherwise, what I would like is you guys should just feel free to talk to each other and help each other out. Okay, help each other. Don't share actual code and things like that. But you can say, but Adam, I'm 100% sure. Right now, let's say 99.99% sure that is the source of your problem. Okay, your implementation is correct and your logic and everything is correct, but your underlying spatial representation is slightly off, maybe. Right? If you do it 100% according to spec, then you'll find that someone else who makes a sparse matrix according to that spec will be able to use your algorithms on their sparse matrix. Yeah. So I think that's it, right? If you do that, I think everything else will just fall into place. All right. So I actually don't have anything else to say unless you guys have any questions.
Professor, can I
ask
a question? Do we have a quest due the week of Thanksgiving, or is it actually like
the week of what? The week of what?
Of Thanksgiving.
Oh, the week of Thanksgiving. Did you ask this question before?
Yeah, I asked it last week, but it wasn't with you here. It's like according to the syllabus.
Yeah. All right.
We could extend it to let me see, like if you follow the sequence of the quests, it could go to like Thanksgiving. There's no
here, okay, Jim, don't worry about it, okay?
Right.
So here's what I see. I recognize every single one of you here. I recognize every one of you by student ID as well as by name and by face. And so I actually don't care. I don't care.
Okay.
So I'm happy to give you guys all the time, because all the time you need until the final for every single quest.
Okay.
Until the final, because the reason for that is because I look in the logs and I see that all of you are trying, right? If not one day off, the next day you're back and you're trying again and again, right? So all of you are putting in a great deal of effort. So it's not like there's any hard fixed dates, freeze dates like that. The freeze dates are there. I think I mentioned this before. Is mainly to as a loophole, is for people who work through loopholes and students who slacking off and get by. Okay, so to catch them. is when the reason I put the free states. Otherwise, if I see someone putting in some serious effort, I'd be very disappointed if I didn't get rewarded for hard work. So I would certainly reward you too.
Yeah,
Okay.
you know what? I really appreciate that because I'm a high schooler, so
Who's that? Oh, Shreyas?
yeah.
Yeah. I know. And your pattern of questing is also very consistent with high schoolers, I think, because in terms of homework and other things, and you just say, all right, now I'm going to do questing, and then you're pretty intense and do this for a while, but then you do come back. It's not like a burst mode questing where you just come back once a week. You seem to have very predictable patterns in doing these things, which is really cool. That's the other thing. I said the system will actually pick up when it's a pattern and things like that. It'll actually flag it as, okay, it's not a burst mode coder and all, right? So it is very much like a nice pattern. Okay, good. I'm happy. I'm happy with all of you guys. Okay, I think everybody who's stuck around, I think, will actually do very well in class, as well as in further studies that you're going to do, or if you do startups and all. It's just perseverance. At the end of the day, this is what it comes down to. Okay, it's not genius, it's not intellectual ability, it is just raw perseverance. And in order to get through that perseverance is really painful, and there's only one aspirant, one painkiller for perseverance is passion. Okay, and if you have passion, you won't feel the perseverance. You just do it because I got to do it, right? Because if you didn't have passion, you need a lot of perseverance. You say, oh, I got to do it, and you still have to do it. Okay, so the trick to doing things is to basically, people say you got to persevere. No, that is bullshit. Okay, I can say you got to be good. Yeah, it's very hard to be good. How do I be good? That's the question, right? So you say persevere is not the right answer. Be yourself is not the right answer. Right? It is to, how can I be myself? You can be myself because you have the independence to be yourself. And how can I persevere? All right. So you can persevere by making it painless to persevere. And to make it painless, you just need to develop passion. How can I develop passion? Let me find out what is it that tickles the fancy of all these people that are so juiced up about this. Okay, because all these intelligent people out there, this is so crazy, they're raving about this, they're having parties, they're talking about algorithms and shit like that. Okay, so there's something really cool in there, much better than the craziest Netflix show I've seen. Okay, what is it? Let me get to the bottom of that. Okay, once you find that, then you'll see that you're bitten by the bug. When you're bitten by the bug, you're going to persevere. Well, even if the whole world tells you get the hell out of here, you're not going to be programming anymore, you're going to say you're going to do it on your phone, right, on the bus, because it's gotten into you, under your skin. So that is the trick. And when people say persevere, you say, tell me how to be passionate, and I'll persevere, right? And so the way to be passionate is look at all these interesting things, right? All the interesting juices and the trivia that comes out here, and things that we're talking about. See, Justin is making these interesting points and observations. Shreyas is making, all of you guys, making these interesting posts. And I'm pretty sure that you look at these posts and, I don't know, right? If I was a hiring manager, going back in time, right? And I spent so much time weeding through candidates and interviewing. Pain, it's a painful process, and even then you're never sure. Okay, but if I was back in time, if I was a hiring manager and someone said, I'm a C++ programmer, and check me out on Reddit. This is my Reddit handle, and I've done all the quests. Okay, even if I haven't done all the quests myself, if I go in the Reddit handle and I look at all the posts that person has made, really insightful posts about hash trees, hash tables, really insightful about Splay, right? And they figured out this corner case, right? Oh, quicksort. Oh my gosh, they did some experiments and all. Okay, so that's enough for me. Okay, the next thing I need to know is just basically, is that person a personable person, right? Do they know can they work well with others? And that also I can get from the Reddit, right? If I look in the Reddit, I can say, well, is that an egoistical, conceited, arrogant person who's not willing to help others, just saying, oh, this is what I've done, I'm such a great person? Or are they going out of the way to say, well, I'm done these cool things, but here's how you can also do it. I can show you, right? But I'm not giving you the answer, but I'll show you how to do it, because we're all in the same, but we're all shooting towards the same goal, right? If I see that person doing that, and they're also a technical rock star, I got to say, I got to get that person, right? Whatever the salary, get that in my team somehow. So I'm saying that would actually save me a great deal of work. And maybe that'll save you a great deal of work when you're hiring managers later on, okay? Maybe not this particular questing system, maybe build something like this and say, well, you know what, I've built something and I've got a discussion board that is all, company private and all. Well, you got to incentivize this to other people, obviously, right? He said, do these quests and, participate, help other people. And over 6 months time, we'll just monitor that and we'll just call the top people that in the forums and the logs for interviews. Okay. And that way, you can minimize on the hiring HR department. It's a huge suck on money, really, because capital expenditure is huge for HR. So you can say, I'll save on all of that by pre-weeding these candidates like that.
Yeah, and you know what?
I'm very happy. Yeah. Sorry.
Oh, I just want to add one quick thought. Like, I took APCS, and like I feel like I'm not saying the programs were boring, but like they were very monotonous, and they were like kind of repetitions of what we did in class, and they were just like kind of easy programs. But I'm finding like what you said about passion, right? These quests are, I think they're built so that you like want to keep going, and like you don't stop until you get the password. Like almost like it's you versus the system, and like you're trying to you're trying to code and do their best and like get all the trophies until you get that password. And I think that like that kind of helps with like the passion and like persevering, because like I think everyone in this class is probably passionate, which is why we're all taking it. But I think the different thing about this course is that it's not just like doing an assignment a week and then that's it, but it's like persevering through like super hard like corner cases and like trying to figure out stuff when there's no solution, or like even if there's or like if like you're not finding any help or you can't think of it. I think it's like I find myself like sitting down for like hours and like having a pencil and paper trying to figure out like what's happening. So like that's kind of like new with this course for me, at least.
Oh, that's awesome to hear. Thank you. Yeah, but I didn't actually make it with all that in mind, but it's basically the community and you guys that have turned it into this, really, I think. Because just requesting itself, I don't think it's that much appeal, but with the Reddit, it's actually a different kind of beast altogether, right? Because you can see all the previous people who've done these things. And one of the students in the past made this comment, which I really liked. He said, Greg, I think his name was Greg Miller. Okay. He said, when we're doing these quests, when we're dealing with these little minis, we look at the people who have done the entire quest before. They feel like big giants to us, because we're dealing with these little minis, and these people 2 years ago, they finished the whole thing. And then I thought, well, that is really cool, actually, because even I've forgotten how to do some of these quests now. Justin made a point about hash tables today, and I completely forgot. What was my rationale behind choosing 3 instead of 2? And so it's actually very interesting. All these things have come out. Hey, on APCS, I had a question. That just today I got a news article on Google or something like that. Some person, APCS, she said, well, it's a news in Tennessee or some state, right? She got what is called a perfect score. I forgot, because my son, they've done this a long time ago, perfect score, and it was a newspaper article. So I didn't know. Is a perfect score like impossible to get or something like that?
Well, I think the thing is that there are like 50 questions on the MCQ-ish, and then there are like 4 programs to write on the FRQ, and like they have like 9 points per program, and like it's things like, oh, if they say less than instead of less than or equal to, right, obviously the code's going to break, but then it's like -1, and then if you get -1, you can get a perfect score. So it's kind of hard in the sense that like getting a 5 is pretty easy, because
Wow.
I think to get a 5, you need to do like a 75% or something on the test. But getting a perfect score means like every single thing you wrote is like perfect, and like
basically all the corner cases that questing system catches for
Yeah.
you, you got to do it in your mind.
Exactly. Yeah. And like if you miss it, right? Like let's say like in a code, like you like divide by 0 accidentally, then that's -1, because they have like a rubric they set before the test. So
Wow.
like, and then like if they see that you didn't account for that, then they take off -1 from the FRQ. So
that's very interesting. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Yeah. What they got to do is that, they got to, which means you got to practice running code in your head, so much that when you go there, you don't make these corner case errors and all.
yeah. My APCS teacher, like I think he's a bit unique, because like he gave us this book. Like I think that the common brands like I think Barron's and like Princeton Review, like these like common AP prep brands. But like this is one brand like I didn't hear about it until the course, but like it's called like Litvin, which is like
So what's it called?
Litvin, like Litvin. I think it's like these two people who are like coders, and they created a book that like the programs you're supposed to write are like a lot harder than the actual AP6 exam. And like the grading is harder because it's more stringent, but it teaches you these corner cases. And it teaches you like to like think about like the corner cases before you even start writing the program. So like I think like that specific book helped with like getting those corner cases, because all the other ones just teach you the concept and ask you to do basic programs. But like that one asks you to like kind of think about entire algorithm and all of its facets, corner cases, runtime, like before you do it. So
very nice, very nice. If it's an online, if it's a free book or something, maybe you can share it on Reddit also. So a lot, you know, because I'm pretty sure that kind of thing, all that kind of thinking also helps questing, right? Because well, obviously in questing you get immediate feedback from the system when something breaks, or corner case breaks. But I think that doing it the APCS way, where you don't have to bank on the questing system telling you, right? As you write it, you already know, and then you don't even have that failing, right? So I think that is a good way of, you should share that if possible.
I mean, here's the thing, right? APCS, like I think it's a bit unique in that it actually, like, for example, like it'll tell you like finish this following method, and like I don't know, like let's say like it's some method, right? I can't think of one on the top of my head, but like, and then like give you a comment like assume this, assume this, assume this, like assume the passing object isn't null, and assume that the object has this enabled, or assume that the array you're adding to is already in sorted order. It'll give you some assumptions, and like that's why like it's a bit easier because you know how to account for that. But like stuff that's like core to the algorithm, like for example, like for like finding the divisors of a number, right? Like you have to start from 2, right? But then if you start from 0, right? Like how you will for like indexing an array, then you'll get caught because you didn't like look at that corner case. So like it gives you a lot of programs like that. I don't think it necessarily teaches the corner cases, but yeah, it has a lot of programs like that. I think I can get it. I think it's on. I think it's not free, but like
if it's free, not if you have a private free version, then like by all means, that would be great. A lot of students will benefit, I think. Anything else? Anything else? Quest 6 around. Most people are 3 to 6. I think that is the range that most people are in right now, and by most, I think the majority of you guys are in that area, and hopefully that you'll all just after you get past that, you'll swim faster. Anything else I can answer for you guys? Otherwise, you can just talk amongst yourself as usual and drop off whenever you want to. And that's fine. You guys want to chat? Yeah, I can just turn the laptop around so I'm not here in your face again. You just talk and help each other if you want. Have a conversation, and then next week if you want me to join again, just let me know and I'll be in the meeting. Otherwise, hopefully this time, right? 6:30. See if Denny can make it. Otherwise, he'll watch the video. All right, thanks. And I'll be within earshot, so just call me if any of you want to talk.
Are you still on 3, Adam?
Yeah. So look, I don't know. I don't know what the rules in the class are about bribing other students, but if you guys have a charity that you want me to support, like just if anyone can predict what part of the spec I'm misunderstanding.
And you're still on that add to cell method that you can't pass?
I become philosophical about it, like
philosophical.
There's a show called True Detective. They say time is a flat circle. So it's like, I just, it's like I might spend the rest of my life just like recoding this over and over. It's like some sort of.
Man, that's rough.
I just
just it's like a spiritual thing at this point.
Oh wait, Adam. So like add to cell. Okay, I think maybe you're overthinking it, because in my opinion, I thought add to cell was not the hardest one. I thought the algorithm behind the multiplication to get past medium and large, actually like I only got past medium, but the algorithm to get past medium was the harder one. So like maybe you're overthinking.
No, yeah. I mean, I think, yeah. I mean, I think Anand is probably right. I mean, I think there's just something I'm not understanding about the spec. Like, I think because I have like a pretty like complete test suite behind it, and I can debug and see like exactly what the data structures are. I could go to the memory addresses, like, so I feel very confident that it's doing what I want it to do. So I think it's like clear that like what I want it to do is not what it's supposed to do. So, I mean, like tomorrow I'll just rewrite it because I've been here for a couple weeks. I've got other things to do, like,
Right.
it's fine. But it's just like, it's kind of unbelievable. I never got this stuck before, so I don't really know. And again, it's passing on my test. So it's like one of these things where I just like can get very little visibility. So again, if there's something that you think is like easy to misunderstand about the spec, about the sparse matrix in general, I said I passed all the tests. So I get the password in week 2, and then I got 2 more things. So I think it kind of got through most of the stuff for the second quest. So, and the third quest, it craps out to add to cell, and I just can't. As I said, it works perfectly on mine. So there has to be something I'm doing wrong. I'm not using any heat memory, but I talked to Anand. He's like, it's not, heat memory is not involved.
For add to cell, you kind of understand that, like, say you want to add to a specific cell, right?
Yes.
And that cell, its value is already -2, and you want to add, say you want to add 2,
right?
So that it becomes the default value. So instead, you'll just delete that cell. Then you understand that?
Yeah, and it's happening. I mean, I can look at my list in the vector and see that it has no nodes.
Okay, wait, so like, is the testing website giving you a matrix that's saying this is what mine looks like, this is what yours looks like?
So that's interesting. I actually meant to ask Anand about that, but no, it just says I have failed to add such and such to this matrix. So it doesn't give me a matrix to look at. And so I was like, oh, maybe it's getting false, right? Because it's a Boolean return value. So it's like, oh, maybe it's returning false. But so what I did is I just like took away all the false returns. So I was like, all right, I'm just gonna make sure it's not returning false. Like, there's no way it's gonna return false. And it still gives me the same message. So I really can't divine from the message like what anything more than like I failed to add 2.756 to matrix 10 by 10 at 6.4.
You know what? Okay, this is something that happened to me. Do you have that like floating point number imprecision like case where like it's like if it's within like some amount, right? Then you delete it if it's within some amount of the default value.
Yeah, so I'm using an absolute value function, but I've also tried it without, just doing like an or. I'm using the floor value that's in the spec. I'm pretty sure. It's like 1e -10 or something. I'm using default value from the sparse matrix itself, so I'm not assuming it's 0. I'm using for. Okay. I'm using absolute value. Yeah.
I mean, I think for this quest, you're supposed to assume it's 0, right? That's what it says.
How did you guys code it? Did you hard code 0, or do you just refer to default value?
I didn't hard code 0, but the quest says assume it's 0, and like, I think that's like, at least for the next mini quest, that's like multiply with the two sparse matrices. I think that's like the main thing, because like
Anand made the same point.
Yeah, because like for the next one, right? If you multiply 2 numbers and one is 0, then it becomes 0. Then like that's a special thing, right?
Yeah. Do you think in your add to cell function, do you think you reference the default val, or do you think you assumed 0 was the default value that you were evaluating?
So in mine, I think maybe the issues in your get or set method, because mine is like my code is like, I don't know how long yours is, like mine is. I
initially did that, right? So I initially did a get, and I did a set, and I like all the logic was taken care of. But to Kanan's point, I was like, oh, I should just rewrite it. So I rewrote the function, and when you do that, it's a lot faster. So like if you do get and set, you're searching through the matrix twice. So I just did a single search through, but neither time I've got it to work. So I'm like I think Anand's right. I think there's like something I'm like misreading or implementing in kind of like a strange way. It's kind of my other thought. Like maybe I'm just, some kind of like wrong data type. Maybe a const. Maybe it's a const issue, right? Maybe like
No, because if it's a const issue, then it would
It's
report that in the
well, I
compilation.
wonder because it says you can't add. You guys think it's possibly const?
No, because I think C++, if you even try to do like a plus operation to a const, then
Yeah, it'll be a compilation error.
compilation
not,
error.
Yeah, I
not
think you're right.
not an actual test.
No,
error.
but I think with these quests, if it's
Maybe he
a
catches it.
runtime error, then like it says like
Right.
I got an exception, or you broke a pointer somewhere and you got a cycle.
Maybe that's what can't means. I don't know. You guys didn't have any const issues when you were implementing? Nothing to notice.
I don't think
No.
I had a const issue, but one of my issues was in the set method. I mean, it's kind of odd because you're saying everything works for you, but for me, my hardest thing was the ordering of everything in the sparse matrix has to be from least to greatest. Column wise.
Right.
Yeah. So like what I had to do was like before I broke, I had to store the value of like the iterator. And maybe that's where you're messing up, because like there's a lot of intricacy where like if you're about to break out, right, then you want to store the value. But then if you're not about to break out, then you want to increment the iterator. But then you want to make sure you store it before you break out, because
so why do you store it before you break out? Maybe that's my problem.
Because at least in my implementation, I'm iterating through everything, and then before I break, I like I'm using a for loop, so my iterator goes away after the for loop, and things that I want to have access to where I was when I broke out after the for loop.
Why do you not insert within the for loop?
Oh, you probably could. I'm just realizing that you probably could. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I really don't know. Like
I don't. The spec says to do it like that, like to break out of the for loop once you're at that position, and save that position, and then I like insert it once I break out of that for loop.
I mean, I can't imagine the test server picking that up, but that is like, I have to try that. Okay, because I was using a pushback call at the end, right? So if you iterate throughout, you didn't insert it during that process. You didn't find it, which means it was like if you didn't find a column value that was greater than the column value you're trying to insert, the loop ends, and then I just use a pushback because you know that this node is going to be the.
Wait.
Yeah.
I didn't use pushback. I think you're supposed to use insert for the list.
Yeah, I mean, pushback is just when you push it, and it's basically you insert at the end of the list iterator. So if you end a 4 at the end of the list and you insert, it's the equivalent to a pushback on the list.
Yeah, but I think you're not supposed to be pushing back into the vector. You're supposed to be inserting in the list, because it's like a vector of lists.
Oh, sorry. Pushback is on the. Sorry, it's a list operation. Sorry.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah, pushback is like this is equivalent to insert at the end. But you guys are totally right. It does. I think it does say to leave the for loop.
Yeah.
It's a little hard for me to imagine it matters, but maybe.
Have you not tried to use the list insert method instead of pushback?
So I use insert. So I use insert when I find a column value that's greater than the one I have.
Okay.
So you use insert there, right? Because you're the iterator.
And then it's the insert with like 2 arguments, the iterator position and the object you want to add, right?
Exactly. And then once the for loop ends, the iterator disappears in my implementation. And I say, oh, okay, the only place it can go is the end now, because
and then you return
find a column. Exactly. Yeah, and return true. But you guys are right. Yeah.
Sorry, I just want to say, like, maybe I mean, I'm sure like your implementation is correct, but like you can try maybe restructuring your code to be like a bit more like consecutive. So like you find the position and then you break out and then you insert, because maybe like I don't know,
You're
like you're like looping through something extra, or you're not getting to the
Right.
right position at some point. So like just like maybe go a bit more consecutive, and where you find the position, then you break out, and then you insert.
Yeah, I'm gonna try it. And you guys just declare basically like the iterator outside of the loop and then just refer to it in the loop basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Personally, I didn't have the iterator outside the for loop. But my implementation is like really messy, but I didn't have like that. Yeah. But
Got it.
I think you might be missing an edge case. Just like thinking
Yeah,
about
that's what I'm really curious.
happens.
So that's the other thing, right? Is there some edge
Yeah.
case that like, because I can add -1 and add 0.9999999, you know, and get it to recognize that it's a default value, get rid of the node if it exists. You know, it's like, are there any edge cases that I should be messing around with that like?
Well, before the entire thing starts, you're checking if it's valid, right?
I check it's valid, and I check if the row has been allocated, if the vector is spine is long enough. I think it says it in the, I don't know if you guys remember in the spec, it says to check the spine is long enough as well.
I think you should be doing that in the is valid method.
You mean call into is valid method?
No. I think you should be checking if the spine is big enough.
That's funny you say that. I wonder if I should be. I implemented that at some point and there was some issue. But I think I can move it around there too.
All right.
Yeah. I wasn't sure because it's the spec is kind of interesting about like the like actual implementation. You know what I mean? Like it was like, you know, what is the memory representation exactly like? But both checks are done for sure.
Okay, maybe is it this? Are your parameters, this might be honestly I'm not sure, but your parameter for set, is it passing my reference for val?
Yeah, this is what I was just thinking about this, right? Yeah, am I messing up a reference thing? So the input to add to cell input parameter is a const reference. And then
Yeah.
I just do everything in the function right now. So I actually don't pass the val, but I do add I get the old value. I add it to the current to the value that's been passed to the function.
Oh, you know what? It might be that are you using set val in your code?
No, I'm not.
You should.
I use get val and then
I remember I didn't use set val and I just did it directly and it didn't work. But then I did set val and then, okay, I don't remember if that was like the exact issue. But I remember like at some point I didn't have it as set val, but then afterward I had it as set val. And then because like set val is like the member method for the node, right?
For the node. Let me see where I use it. I use set val. I wonder if this is the problem. Let's see. So if I find, so you use set val when you find the node is already existing, right?
No,
is that when you use set val?
If you create a val, default. If it's not default, then you don't want to delete it, and so you want to set it.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So I have set val here. Yeah. I mean, I call set val. I think at that point, you know,
like set val of val, right?
Yeah, set val, and I put in the new value as the parameter to set val. So I dereference the iterator, call set val. The iterator points to a node, dereference it, call set val, put in the new value. But you know, nothing's on the heap, right? I assume this is like all being copied and.
I don't know. Like what I'm doing is that I just used. I'm doing what you're doing. I'm just dereferencing the iterator at the point that I'm at, and then I just call set val, and then I pass it
on the node.
Maybe check your set val method, because if it's saying it failed to add, then maybe the set val is wrong, and then like, wait, let me check my set val, because I remember set val just being like one thing, like you just said it.
Yeah, exactly. It's just the. But yeah, I mean, it's passing all my text.
Set val, I just did val equals val. So
exactly. But I like your idea. Like, is there something with the reference? You guys didn't have any trouble with references, consts in Quest 3? Like, you know, no heap memory. You know, I just create a node and then insert it. There's nothing else you have to do, right?
I mean, I remember that I had a const issue in that I was getting a compiler error,
Yeah.
but I was
you
never
think
having any kind of issue
You-
out of that.
yeah. You think const is not a runtime error pretty much ever?
One sec, be right back.
Yeah.
I don't think, yeah, I don't think it will be a runtime error.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
yeah,
like basically impossible to have it,
yeah, I think the compiler should catch that for you.
right? And the program probably won't.
How are you actually storing that value that you want to add to like a specific cell?
And I see I'm not doing anything special, right? And that might be my fault, right? Like I just create it as needed, as the sum of the old value that I get from the node, and then I have my new value, and I add them together, and I create a new value of the type,
Okay,
and
right.
then I either set the value, or if it's if there's a node that needs to be created, I just create a node using the new value. But again, there's no heap memory. There's nothing going on like that. I just like.
So yeah, so me, I
right in
make
the
that
node.
I make that sum into
Yeah.
into a variable like right after I check that the row column is valid. And
Okay.
then after that, I check if it is a default, right? That sum is a default.
Right.
I call it is default on it. And if it is
Okay.
default, I erase it from the list, from the sparse matrix using an internal erase method that I made.
Cool.
Pretty much deletes that
Right.
node from the linked list, and then I return true.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I should just reorganize it. So you basically have like a totally different path if you're a default value, basically.
Right. I take care of that before I even go into like iterating through the list and everything.
And
Yeah.
and if you don't find the node, you just don't do anything. If it's a default value and there's no node there, you just return true, no problem.
Right. Yeah. Because when I break out of the
Nothing to
loop
do.
and I'm supposed to insert that new node of the iterator position that I have, I check if that sum is a default value.
Before you have any iterators, before you do anything.
That's after I break out of that iterating loop that I iterate.
Okay. So you check if it's in there, and then you figure out is it default value.
Yeah.
Okay, so the default value is done after you search through.
I guess that's kind of pointless as well because I checked before. Yeah, before I even enter the loop. Yeah. Yeah, I don't now looking, yeah, it's kind of redundant why I have a second check because I should take care of that already.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a check before I even enter my iterating.
Did you pass your multiplication at the large size or whatever?
No, I only passed medium.
Yeah, I got the password and ran.
Yeah.
Like
yeah, I mean, I think you can't call get and set and be it very efficient. So
I mean,
you end up searching the thing twice.
Wait, let me check that.
Right, because like
yeah,
because get does a search and then set does a search.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
for the multiplication, you don't call get. I think you just call get val because you don't need it because you can just get the val directly if you have the row and column. So,
but add to cell. If you call get and set and add to cell, don't you call add to cell a ton of time from the multiplication?
I call add to cell. Yeah, but get. Okay, well, like here's a.
Just a way to maybe speed it up. Like I really don't know.
But the thing is that with get, right, here's the thing. With sparse matrices, it's never going to be like n columns, right? It's like the density. I think I remember from the test, or at least like I saw on the Reddit after I passed the quest, like it was like density for like the large SP map was like 0.005. So like, imagine if it was like 10,000 is n, right? So 0.005 times 10,000 would be like 50. So you would just be getting like. I mean, I know that's not like exactly, but like you max go like 150, 200, 250 elements. So it doesn't actually add too much of a factor. So you can always call get and set from the add to cell. It's just that in your actual multiplication method, you shouldn't call get and set there, because then you're calling get and set and then you're calling get and set again.
Yeah.
So it's unnecessary.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, I don't know. I might take Anand's advice and just recode the whole thing, but it's like, I don't know. I do not know.
Honestly,
Frustrating.
just like maybe, I don't know, like get like pencil and paper and just like try like 50 test cases and see like if it passes like logic wise.
Well, I can write the test case. I mean, I have like a test class that I call functions from.
Yeah, but
I
like
can like write. I can write the test.
right, but like each I don't know, but like sometimes I feel like it kind of helps when like
Yeah.
like personally when I like go through each step of my code and then I do it on paper and then I see, oh, why am I doing this? Like this is unnecessary.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
why am I doing this? Is it gonna bite me later? So then I can change it. Because like
Yeah.
versus doing it in a test class. But you know.
But yeah, I hear you. All right, enough about me, guys. Who else is stuck?
Do you guys know what quest is due tonight?
I think 6, right?
Oof. All right. Okay. Well, he said that like the due dates aren't like super strict, right?
Yeah, I think at this
like
point, everybody should just try to pass 9 before the final. That's pretty much it.
Yeah. How do you guys feel about the midterm? Like, do you guys feel it was hard?
Dude, I was like blown away by one of the questions I missed because my brain was like, this is completely right and the math is completely wrong. But I missed the log running time question.
Yeah, I missed that too.
Yeah.
And it's like the way I did it made perfect sense in my head. And then when you do it on paper, it's like, oh, that's not how logs work.
No, I had a question about one of the questions. Like I got this question wrong. I don't know if we're allowed to discuss the question, but like it was that the song list one, and like I thought I got it right, and then the explanation that I had that like after I submitted it, I got it wrong. Like I still don't get I still don't get the answer, but like I don't know if we're allowed to discuss midterm questions. So
I wouldn't do it just because it's recorded, but
yeah.
You guys
don't know.
know that you had 2 attempts at the midterm?
right.
Yeah, but I remember I was reading on the Reddit like you're not allowed to do the second try.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, did you do the second try?
I did it.
Wait, was it the same questions?
It was the same questions the second time.
Oh, bruh. Wait, what?
I didn't
Wait.
know that we weren't able to do it.
I'm pretty sure you're not. Oh my god. If you were allowed to do that, 'cause I got on the Reddit, it said you can't do a second time.
Oh,
Wait,
I don't know.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
I remember I was contemplating clicking the button, but I didn't want to get into some kind of like issue, so I just didn't.
Yeah, I figured like what the heck? I have nothing to lose, right? If it doesn't count, it doesn't count. Like,
What, you
No,
got a perfect score?
yeah, I mean, the first time I did it, I only missed one question. It was that log question.
So we all
Oh.
missed that question?
Yeah.
Wait, I missed more than one, like a lot more than, or like a little more than one, but yeah.
That's funny. That log question, yeah, it was just so funny. Like,
Yeah. But you know what? I
makes
kind of
sense.
get it now, but yeah, I did it a totally wrong way because like I didn't use the log properties. I multiplied.
Totally. I think we all did it the wrong way. But what's nuts to me is like just how slowly log grows. Like, I think one reason you do the math wrong is because you're like, oh, this is pretty slow. But it's like, no, log grows way slower.
Oh wait, no, I don't think that's the question I missed. You guys are talking about the one like if they
Yeah.
Okay. No, actually, Adam, your book that you recommended, it actually teaches
good, right?
that log scenario pretty good. Like it
Did you like
actually
the
made
book?
me understand. Yeah, I'm still reading it. It's pretty good. Like, yeah.
It's solid, dude.
The
I
one I
hate
missed
algorithm
was
books.
the one I missed was the O of n analysis with like it had 2 square roots.
Oh.
2 squares.
Yeah.
I didn't see that second loop had a square as well. So I thought
a little tricky.
I thought it was something else. Yeah.
Oh.
A little tricky.
You know what? I also missed the actually I don't know if we're allowed to discuss it, but like yeah, I missed one of the binary search runtime questions. Yeah.
So Shreyas, you're on 6 right now?
Yeah.
I'm on 6, yeah. I'm gonna try finishing it tonight, but I don't know if I will.
Yeah, it's kind of rough now, like not getting any feedback from the from the quest.
Which one are you on?
I'm on 6. Like my code I've submitted, it just says you think that's it.
You don't know what you're failing?
Yeah. So starting from quest 6, you don't get any more input on what exactly you're failing.
Well, should we ask Adnan if he just got lazy or what?
No,
Is
he
it a
says
feature or a bug?
No, he says
Yeah,
it's like you have to fly free.
yeah,
or
you have to
something.
spread your wings and fly now. Like there's no more feedback on what you're failing.
You know, we didn't get a lot of feedback in the first place.
Yeah, it is pretty rough now. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny.
And then
How
I
was-
guess
how-
I guess Anand made a note about it right now that kind of answered my question. Like you do have to get it to a certain point before you start getting points now. Huh?
You know, I
Wait,
think
but-
that I think if you guys want to post to Reddit a lot more, I think it could be really good because I tried to post a meme and no one responded. So if you
Yeah.
guys want to post just to keep us all kind of connected and nothing else.
Yeah, I'm trying to post on the Reddit, like at least more often because like I'm like constantly reading the Reddit because like once posts come, but like I don't know. I guess it's just like I should probably start answering more questions because like I do, but like I think sometimes I get a little overwhelmed. Like I have to like share something and then I get kind of embarrassed that I didn't like make a lot of progress. What am I supposed to share?
Yeah, exactly,
But,
exactly.
Yeah, but I think I should just start like answering the questions because I'm reading them all and I'm reading the discussions and I'm like, oh, I should contribute something. So I
Also,
should
something I did in 2B was I like posted occasionally just about like random C++ stuff, and I do think that's like pretty useful for everyone, and it's a nice break from like being super focused on passing whatever. So I'd say if you guys have any like C++ stuff you want to share, or like, you know, algorithm stuff.
Yeah, I like C++ more than Java personally. I mean,
Mhm.
like Java's easier, but like I think C++ from like a programming standpoint makes a lot more sense. Like from a standpoint of I want to develop software, it makes more sense than Java because Java I feel like is good to like learn the language, but is I feel like if you're actually developing a product, you'd never use Java just because first of all, you have like no control over like a lot of the stuff you're doing. Like for example, like operator overloading, you don't have control over that, and like I know in C++ there's like size types and like iterators, and in Java they have like knockoff versions, but like they're not as good. But the one thing I like about Java is that it has garbage collection built in, whereas this C++ where it just calls delete and then or the destructor and then oh yeah, and also Java gives you like where your code is failing, but C++ gives you a seg fault. No
Have any of you guys tried Rust? So from what I can tell, I don't really know, but from what I can tell, like Rust is sort of this like replacement for C++.
Right, it's like a more modern C++, right?
So I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued by Rust and Go. I think I like the idea of Go. I heard someone on Reddit say something like, no one who like really knows C++ well can like the language. Like once you get to know C++ well enough, you're just like, dude, this is a monster. So
What quest are you on, Ethan? You're on 4?
Yeah, I'm on 4. I was sick like the past week. I couldn't get off my bed.
Oh,
But I've been thinking about the BST and it should be not too bad, at least the first half of 4. So yeah, I think I should get through that just fine. But yeah, as of now, I'm on 4.
Yeah, I think the BST isn't too bad. It's pretty much just getting it done. Yeah.
Yeah, it's straightforward, I think.
what's the hardest one so far? 6?
Apparently 6 is supposed to be easy, but I think with like not getting a lot of input now it makes it a little more challenging. Yeah, like from the spec, an answer 6 should be like a easy quest. But I mean, I've spent a lot of time because it's pretty much, it's not really like hash tables isn't really like the main story. It's about linear probing and stuff. Right, so that's kind of the main story. But I mean, to me, like hash tables are brand new, so I had to spend a lot of time reading the material to understand what you're trying to achieve with that.
You know, one of the things that I told you I took this like really difficult algorithms course, and one thing like I really stuck with me from it was, you know, all these like data structures came out of like a particular use. Like there was like a real need for every one of them. And data structure algorithms like way easier to understand if you appreciate like why this data structure is being used. It's like hashing is a perfect example. You know, it's like once you appreciate like exactly like what, like why do we need hashing? Like what were they trying to do? The data structure behind them and the algorithms and why we went faster, like it starts making a lot more sense. So that's why I like that book, that Python algorithms book I posted on the Reddit, because he like very much puts it in terms of like you're trying to build this thing, and this is the, you know, this is the challenge. I don't know. I'm going to post an algorithm complexity cheat sheet on the subreddit. You guys. Are you guys going to take any Deanza or Foothill classes next semester?
I was thinking about taking Deanza Introduction to Data Science. I thought it sounded cool.
No, that sounds pretty good. There was an ethical hacker course this semester I almost took, but I didn't think I had time for it.
Yeah, it's not being offered next quarter. I saw that.
I wanted to take CS10 for winter, but it's on campus only.
Mm.
Yeah.
Are you looking at Deanza as well?
I don't know how that really works. I've only been on like Foothill.
So Deanza and Foothill are like in the same super city college, basically. And the course offerings are pretty similar. So I don't, especially if you're just looking to kind of combine credits, I would definitely look at Deanza as well. I took discrete math through them in the summer.
Is discrete math hard?
It is hard. It depends on the teacher. You know, this teacher was pretty checked out, to be honest.
Oh.
I think he was a nice guy or whatever. But like, you know, my personal feeling is like math classes can be pretty daunting if you don't have like a teacher that's trying to make it less daunting. You know, because well, just because like, you know, in terms of abstraction, it's like, you know, kind of like the highest level of abstraction, I think, and you know, we can like it's easy for me to get kind of like demotivated without a teacher that's like, but on the other hand, there's so many good materials online. Like, you know.
Wait, Adam, who did you have for discrete?
I had a Japanese professor. He was good. Like I don't, you know, he was good, but like there was I think we had like a Discord or a Slack around it, and you know, it was just kind of this constant feeling like, you know, basically every time he sent an email, he'd be like, well, I hope you guys do better on the next one. You know, it's like every time it was like.
But I think I might have taken the same class actually.
Oh really?
I get what you mean. I get exactly what you mean. Yeah.
He recorded all the lectures, I think, during like COVID. So he was just kind of posting them, and then like, but it was quite hard. I thought like it was no joke, and just challenge, you know. And so I could have used a little more cheerleading from the professor, put it that way.
You know what?
Yeah,
my teacher, she, it's a no lecture class. You just watch the videos online and then you do problems in class, which is.
I mean, in class, is he encouraging at least? Like in class, is it like?
I mean, okay, so how it works is that we're put in groups, right? I mean, it's an in-person class because it's school, but like it's an in-person class and we watch videos at home and we take notes, and then we come to class and we do the same type of problems, like not the same problem, but the same type of problems in class in groups. And like how it works is that one person like does the problems and then the other people like follow along. And I like that model honestly, because like I don't know, I feel like it's like because like they're always there to help if you need it. So I mean, I kind of like it because I feel like everyone goes at their own pace, and then eventually everyone stops and then has a test, and then we like zoom through the entire chapter, and then we stop and have a test. So
Yeah, I mean, like I'm a lot older than you guys, you know, and like, you know, when I was in school, high school, but college too, like, you know, we didn't have any like alternative sources of information, right? So I think it's like really unique right now that you can find like the best explanation in the world for whatever topic is you're looking for, like on YouTube, basically.
Yeah.
Like literally the best, right? Like it's, you know, it's good to use bad,
Yeah.
you can find the best. So I think that's really cool. I'm a little old school. I like textbooks, but I don't think it's been very good for my grades or learning to be stuck on them.
I mean, honestly, like even my teacher says, like just watch them on 2 times speed, because like you don't really need to listen to the explanation as much as you just need to know how to do the work. So yeah.
All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna go consider dropping this course, and no, I appreciate all your input. If you guys have anything more posted on Reddit, we'll get some discussions going.
Yeah.
But
hey, don't drop.
I'll let you, when I solve the problem, we'll let everyone know what it is, and you guys can all make fun of me for it.
I'm interested. It sounds like you're like 99.9% there. You just have to like I guess it's probably like an issue on one line of code. So like it shouldn't be like I guess like if you I mean it might take a while, but like it shouldn't be a hard fix at least.
Well, it's almost like a philosophical question, right? It's like you can't write a test that it fails. Like, in what sense is it failing, right? Like, you know, you have to like, you know, it's a situation where there's like this mysterious voice that's saying like, it doesn't work, you know, but you don't know why, you don't know how. But I think this happens a lot in like real engineering, right? Like it's just not working. You can't replicate the error, but you don't really know. So yeah, I would love, like, I want my test to fail. Like, I'm constantly just hoping like this, okay, I can get it, like this will make it break. So, but I'll read through the specs, and I may just beg the professor at some point.
Maybe try doing something like adding, like looping through the whole thing and adding like 5 or 10 to each to each cell, and then see like if there's a certain cell that doesn't add 5.
That's a good idea. That's a really good idea. Yeah, do like every cell.
Yeah, just like brute force that.
Maybe. Yeah, no, it's honestly that's a really good idea, and maybe like a random order or something.
All right.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening to me complain.
Yeah,
Post on Reddit, everyone.
So should we tell Professor End like we're done?
Oh.
I think so.
Professor and
Hey, yeah, okay. Are you guys done?
yeah.
All right, okay. Great. Okay, here I am. Great. I will hit the button and stop the recording. Thanks for making it, and I will see you guys if you invite me again for another future meeting.
Yeah.
All right, okay. See you guys later. Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.